to Real Talk. I'm your host, Samantha Rodriguez. Today we're interviewing Danny Ramirez, who plays Joaquin Torres in Captain America: Brave New World. Stay tuned to the end of the episode to see a sneak peek into Marvel's newest film.
Yay. Hi, welcome everyone, and welcome Danny. Thank you so much for being with us. It's awesome to see you come down to campus, especially on Friday when you're just in San Francisco at the ABD All-Star game. How was that?
Yeah, no, that was a dream come true because I had been an athlete my whole life, and it was a realization early on that that's the single biggest athletic event of my life, whether I was prepared or not. And so obviously the stat line wasn't what we wanted. It's not what we prepared for, but we won the game, which is all that mattered. And so it was a surreal moment for sure.
No, you had a bunch of fun, you had the silent cheering on when Kai Snap finally scored 2 points, and with your coach.
He tried every step of the way. Oh my!
He wanted those minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you have any other memorable moments with your teammates?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, for those of you my teammates, it was nuts. Kai's a funny dude, but there was a moment where Barry Bonds, he was going to put me in obviously as a defensive specialist, and he put his arms around me waiting as he was watching the play. And I remembered being in like high school soccer before coming in when I was and it was just one of those moments that you realize that's just like coach speak, like when they're watching the game and they're talking into your ear, being all right, this is what you got to do. And it was a moment that I realized that's Barry Bonds.
Yeah. Well, it's surreal to be in a professional landscape and even going farther and farther, because you played you were an athlete in football and soccer in high school, and now coming all the way here and being in Marvel's Captain America. That's
great.
And yeah, you first started the character in 2021 in the TV show. Did you ever think you were going to revisit the character?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. When I first got the call that I got the job, they told me yo, you're gonna be Falcon, and I was like, all right, bet. And but obviously during the TV show, as COVID hit and we basically got stopped when we were 70% of the way in, they just figured that there was a more special moment to introduce the character instead of the way that it had been sculpted on the TV show. So obviously I needed a little bit of patience.
Yeah.
And but I'm happy that it paid off in the film.
Absolutely. How did it feel did it feel like you had sort of I made it moment with Top Gun and then this being with Falcon?
Not really, because I don't know. That moment is clear when I see it through my family's eyes. And so at premieres, when I watch my mom watch the film, that's a moment that I'm like, oh, this is kind of crazy. But when it's I think since I started working, the people that I've been around and surrounded by, it's their everyday thing. It's their craft. It's been my craft since I switched from soccer to acting. And it's almost this remain neutral, because it's still at the end of the day about the art form. And so the part that I get really excited about is I get to do this for a living. I think the flashier stuff, this is crazy. The fact that I have a Funko Pop, it's a blessing, but it's trying to remain keep the main thing. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anyone ever has an I made it moment outside of the first time that you're I'm gonna pay the rent, Yeah.
Yeah, how'd your family react when they first realized that you could be one of the leads in a Marvel film?
Well, I don't think they understood. I tried to tell my mom, I'm yo, I'm number 2 in the movie, and she's like, what? Harrison Ford's in it. I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, granted, he's Harrison Ford, and he's honestly my mom's favorite actor. Yeah. So it was a moment to watch them realize that. I think, that was just the most special moment for me. And then my nephew, the moment the movie ended, just the first thing he did is just check me. I won't spoil why, but he kind of roasted me real quick. But it was one of those moments that I'm like, all right, good. It's good to be instantly humbled.
Yeah, of course. And at the end of the film, your character there's so many references to Miami, and your characters that he's born in Miami. How did it feel to, of course, be raised in Miami, but you went to it in year 6? How did it feel to sort of play a character that sort of went through the same Miami culture that you did?
Yeah, well, so Joaquin in the film was raised in Miami as well. And so the first week that I got the job, Julius Owen, our director, he's like, look, I think it's incredibly important that Anthony Mackie's character, Sam Wilson, is from New Orleans. And so he wanted to have that same association with Joaquin. And so he's like, we want to make him from Miami. And I was like, all right, bet. If you're going to make him from Miami, he needs to be a Canes fan. He needs to be wearing, there's a version of a scene where he's wearing a Sean Taylor jersey. and there's some stills of it out there, and so we'll see what comes of it. But I was just like trying to make sure that if he was gonna be Miami, he was gonna be authentically Miami.
Yeah.
And so that started the conversation, and then from the moment I introduced the Miami Hurricanes, someone said he's got to be the Heat fan. I was like, all right, bye. So it was making sure that it was authentic in that way. So when it came down to really that final scene that you'll see in the movie, there was a common ground from both my perspective and Joaquin's and Anthony's and Sam's, which is that we had skin in the game. We had real skin in the game when we had that beautiful last moment. So yeah, it was incredibly important to me for that to be authentic.
Yeah, so you sort of worked with like the filmmakers to really craft Joaquin. Like,
Yeah.
what does the character mean to you?
Well, it means to me, it's there was a moment that I realized like it was art imitating life and life imitating art, where both Joaquin and myself were in a similar place, like in our careers, which is we feel like we're at a place that we could prove what we got, prove our skill, prove our craft, and granted, like what I was able to identify obviously is that Joaquin gets a chance to be overzealous about it, almost like Icarus, if you will, flying too close to the sun. And I learned a lot from that, and so I won't hopefully be doing the same mistakes. But it was just a beautiful moment that I realized like all I have to do is show up on set every day, and having done my work, and then just observe and feel the day out, since we were both on the same page, and so it made it easier for me in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like the film, like Miami's reference, and even the Hurricanes. And you're a huge football fan. Did you watch this last season with Cam Ward?
I was at like I think 10 of the 12 games or 9 of the 12 games. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I was I was there for some nail biters. I feel like I lost a couple years of my life watching the Cal game. My heart condition for sure. I now have a heart condition in there because of it. No, it was the cardiac canes. It was fantastic. Cam is he's in the Mount Rushmore for me with Canes. So is X. No, it was a beautiful year.
We're at the Virginia Tech game, like when.
I was. Also, wait, well, that's disproportionately blown out by like all the fans that aren't Canes fans. They all were like, it's a catch. No, bro, it was never a catch. The right call was made. Y'all could shut up about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
And yeah, like I'm sure Cam's gonna go like top 5 in the draft, and like it's gonna be so much fun to see that name for. Yeah, number one. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously Marvel is one of the world's biggest franchises, and very expand, and like even now Pedro Pascal coming, making his debut in July. Like there's a lot of more Hispanic faces coming to the front of Marvel films. So you play one of very few characters who like really canonically is like from a very Hispanic dominating city. What does it mean for you to really be one of those faces in one of the largest franchises in the world?
Yeah, well, that's it's an immense feeling, an immense idea to even like conceptualize. Just because I mean, to me, Hollywood is always so far away. I mean, quite literally, from Miami to LA is a whole coast to coast experience. So it never felt like something that was attainable. And so I think that's my affinity to the Miami Hurricanes was from a child. Like that's who was close, the heroes closest to me, right? It was watching Devin Hester, Santana Moss, like Clinton Porter, all the OG Canes for me. I know there's OG or Canes, but the Canes that I grew up with was the closest to heroes that I had.
Yeah.
And so to be that now in a quite literal sense, on the biggest stage cinematically is a hard concept to like even fathom, because it's like seeing kids with the toys and like the Funko Pops collected and yeah, it's a thing that I'm not sure I'm gonna understand it up until like a couple years from now when I see more of that impact. But I just hope that it alleviates that pressure from kids of like putting a cap on their dreams.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one of the tragedies of like when I first started out. I was like, oh, maybe I could just do some work and make a living out of it and move from like job to job. So the idea of actually establishing myself is so new. And I keep looking at this because it's weird. Sorry, I just cursed. But yeah, no, it's chaotic to see that and who knows what that ripple could be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're even at Telemundo, Despierta America, like speaking Spanish to those kids who like are able to even see the films in Mexico and Singapore. Like, it's crazy.
And also, for the record, I know how to say Cinépolis. There's this video going around that said Cinépolis, and I said that because I was in Brazil. And so I just got to be on the record. I hope this, like, snip it out, send it to me. I'm going to post that specific thing to fight against the haters, you know.
Well, yeah, and you went like so like far, like for the press tour, like even France, I believe. Like, yeah, how did it feel to like really see like the impact your character can have like in places you never thought it would?
Well, it was France. We went for Fashion Week, walked in the show, it was crazy. Then we started the official press tour in Spain, then London, flew to Vegas, then New York. Oh my God. DC again?
New York, Miami.
No, New York, Miami, LA, DC, New York,
So wait.
San Francisco, and now back to Miami, and then to LA tomorrow. So this has all been like the span of like 13 days. It's 2 days. That's not how fast started. No, and it's one of the things is like I asked for it, and then when you do it and you're exhausted, but you realize like it's something for a movie that we believe in, which is the exciting part.
Absolutely. I'm sure like it's gonna pick up again in April with The Last of Us coming out. You play Manny. He's a pretty interesting character.
Yeah, I think that show's gonna mess some people up. Yeah, I think it's yeah, and honestly, it's a part of the privilege that I feel like, and the luck that I feel like I've had in my career is that almost every job that they've said yes to me to has been surrounded with like some of the world's best creatives. Craig Mazin, the creator of the TV show, not the video game, Neil Druckmann is that. But Craig he did Chernobyl, and that's one of the best TV series of all time. And so when the opportunity like doing The Last of Us comes up, you just jump on it no matter what. And so I think it's every step of the way, it's just been learning with some of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. What can fans look forward to seeing in season 2?
They're gonna be messed up. That's all I could say. Any more than that, I'm pretty sure that they also have Marvel has a sniper frame gun on this side, and I think HBO has one on this side. And so I just gotta make sure I told the lie.
Absolutely. We completely get it. Yeah, but I mean, what would you say to fans who like are debating whether to watch the film?
Watch it. What are you debating? Watch it. Formulate your own opinion. Watch it. I think it's a badass film.
Yeah.
It's action from start to finish. There's so much heart and soul, and Sam Wilson is an unbelievable hero. The stuff that Julius Ono was able to create with all the dynamics and all the tethers in this film, I think it's special.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome speaking with you. And feel free to take the Funko Pop. Like,
No, I have a lot of those now.
it's a special.
I was signing for you
The
guys.
Miramar and Target, the Target and Miramar. It's a special Funko Pop.
Okay, that's so I said on one. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to your crew. Shout out to
Thank you. They're awesome.
also any camera, any network out there that doesn't have analog camera operators. Get out of here with those robots, man. Get out of here.
Thank you. Total blast.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good.
Check out Captain America: Brave New World. Out now. This is crazy.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the interview. Stick around for the rest of the season.
How you doing? Good morning. Hey, I brought you guys some coins that I had made.
back to Nellis? Yeah, so we'll probably hang out. I had a great time.
Right here, I'm gonna put it on you. So. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Let's go.
Good for you.
So good.